was already loud enough. He garnered investments from the four major families, and even they were willing to support him. Now, Qin Fei can be said to be a true legend in Hong Kong stocks. The host of TVB's financial report was Qin Fei's sister, Qin Yao. As soon as the youthful and stunning face of Qin Yao appeared, the viewership of TVB's financial report broke 50. Because of her connection to Qin Fei, the viewership even reached 60. Originally, achieving a 30 viewership for such a small program was considered impressive, but now it directly doubled to 60. Even the writers of the financial program did not expect this. These days, as long as the program was related to Qin Fei, it guaranteed high viewership. He cited this. Mr. Qin's fame is incredibly useful. Just mentioning him ensures the highest ratings, and this financial program can reach 60. Mr. Qin's fame is truly immense. Qin Yao, not far away, smiled upon hearing the ratings. Facing the audience, she did a great job of promoting herself, also helping her brother gain popularity this time, which would be beneficial for him to boost the Hang Seng Index. As the Hang Seng Index rises, Hong Kong stocks will warm up, and at that time, TVB's stock will also soar. Many Hong Kong investors who had lost money were experiencing a revival. They were doing a good deed. And Qin Yao's face was filled with radiant joy. I'm very happy to be hosting this financial program today. The big news is about Mr. Qin, my brother, who secured 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars from the four major families. And this 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars was personally brought to my brother by them, believing in his strength. Beside her, another female host accompanied Qin Yao, appearing quite surprised. She looked over in shock. Princess Yao Yao. So the four major families specifically approached your family to invest in your brother, believing he can boost the Hang Seng? Qin Yao nodded with a happy expression. Yes. My brother is really powerful. Just a few months ago, my brother and I were still living in a lower-end apartment. That small place was less than 20 square meters. The three of us, my brother, and I, were crammed in there. My brother revived himself through stocks. The other female host sighed in amazement. Many people in Hong Kong are crammed into small rooms of less than 20 square meters, often with 3 family members. I heard Mr. Qin bought the first villa in Hong Kong in less than a week. Upon mentioning this, Qin Yao became excited. Yes, when we moved, I was so happy. I never expected we could be neighbors with Li Chaoren. The female host was envious, knowing that Mr. Qin's first purchase mansion was the 1 billion Hong Kong dollar luxury house in Repulse Bay. Previously, it would have cost 1.5 billion Hong Kong dollars to take out several hundred million Hong Kong dollars at once. This Mr. Qin is truly impressive. Moreover, all of this was earned through stock trading, further proving his capability. Mr. Qin's ability to make money is truly remarkable. He has previously collaborated with the Li family several times. The Li family invested and also made a lot of money. And Mr. Qin has risen from an ordinary person in Hong Kong to his current height, all relying on his financial skills. Qin Yao was also incredibly proud, smiling as she said, yes, so I absolutely believe my brother can boost the Hang Seng Index. I fully support him. Whatever my brother says, he can definitely achieve. The female host nodded, smiling as she addressed the live broadcast. Mr. Qin's strength is evident to all. I believe everyone understands without me saying. Today, we are recommending the explosive rise of the Hang Seng Index, which can be seen as a revival. This time, Mr. Qin is boosting the Hang Seng, and buying the Hang Seng is the right choice. It will definitely break 10,000 points. Once this was said, all the investors in Hong Kong became excited. They were all exhilarated, with such a capable Mr. Qin entering the market, bringing 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars from the four major families to boost the Hang Seng. It must rise. They just needed to follow along and buy in. Many investors in Hong Kong rushed to buy at the lowest prices, frantically buying in and pushing the prices up. This was a huge positive for the Hang Seng. In the afternoon, when the Hang Seng opened, Qin Fei had not yet used his predictive ability, but found that the Hang Seng Index had surged from 800 points to over 9,000 points, quickly reaching 9,100 points. He could already start pushing it up. This wave of increase was truly impressive. The investors in Hong Kong had been pent up for too long, with several dramatic drops in the Hang Seng, falling from nearly 20,000 to its current state. Some investors had long been worn out by the drops. They had finally found an opportunity and a capable person to save the Hang Seng and rescue the Hong Kong stock market. How could they not go crazy? Now, 99 of investors were pushing the Hang Seng up, continuously buying and offering high prices. It was inevitable for the Hang Seng to break 500 points. Now it was just a matter of when it would surpass 10,000 points. The final gap of 500 points would require Qin Fei to take action for a wave of increases. He used his predictive ability to forecast the Hang Seng's movements for today as two openings, planning to push the Hang Seng past 10,000 points during these two openings. With the support of all stock investors in Hong Kong, pushing the index above 10,000 points is very easy for him. He has 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars from the four major families of Hong Kong, plus his own more than 600 billion Hong Kong dollars in savings. With 1.6 trillion Hong Kong dollars invested, it can definitely push the market up. Buying at the lowest point can also yield profits, and by the way, it can raise the stock price of TVB. This is indeed killing two birds with one stone, and he is very pleased to buy at the Hang Seng index of 9,500 points. He crazily boosts the Hang Seng index. 9,600 points, 9,700 points, 9,800 points. The Hang Seng index starts to jump up. A movement of 100 points at a time. This is the largest increase in the Hang Seng in the past half month, with no downer. There is only continuous growth. And in such a crazy trend, those who bet against the Hang Seng have long given up. No one dares to short the Hang Seng, only buying up. When everyone buys up together, the Hang Seng will definitely break new heights, surpassing 10,000 points. The emergence of 10,200 points has already excited many people online. Various Hong Kong stock forums have already regarded Qin Fei as a new legend, the #1 stock god of Hong Kong. The Hang Seng index breaking 10,000 points has birthed a new myth, Mr. Qin, the #1 stock god of Hong Kong. Mr. Qin keeps his word. The Hang Seng breaking 10,000 points is all thanks to him. Countless companies in the Hong Kong financial tower have tried to raise the Hang Seng and failed, but with Mr. Qin's arrival, it surged 2,000 points. Mr. Qin is amazing. Following him, I made over 10 million Hong Kong dollars this time. I also made several tens of millions HKD. Mr. Qin is the future of our Hong Kong stock market. The Hang Seng index, which surged 2,000 points, also made Qin Fei a lot of money. Although he couldn't operate with high leverage, his funds are enormous. Even a one profit is a huge gain. This time, hitting an index of 10,500 points. His profit amounts to 320 billion Hong Kong dollars. He made a profit of 300 billion Hong Kong dollars in one wave. He is the biggest winner. He didn't expect the Hang Seng to be so easy to boost this time. It seems today, breaking 11,000 is certain. With a smile on his face. After finishing one operation and a few hours of market closure, he settled at a Hang Seng index of 10,500 points, securing a profit of 320 billion Hong Kong dollars. While checking online forums and seeing some people praising him, he waited for the second opening. During this time, he also called to inquire about the situation at TVB. It is clear that because this time, as soon as the Hang Seng opened, it surged above 10,000 points. TVB's financial reports had a viewership rating exceeding 70. Chapter 74. The true first of the stock market. Not only did advertising revenue soar again, but Qin Yao's fame as a host also skyrocketed, leading many investors to call in to thank Qin Fei for this surge. The program host intended to leverage this trend to conduct an interview with stock investors, aiming to break new records for TVB's financial program ratings while also promoting his popularity. This would certainly help Qin Fei with the upcoming rise of the Hang Seng index, so he readily agreed. Yes, we can give it a try. This afternoon's opening will definitely break 11,000 points, marking the rise of the Hang Seng index. Starting today, it won't drop anymore. The other party was quite excited, understanding the significance of this rise in the Hong Kong stock market. Mr. Qin, you are truly remarkable. Our financial channel has so many experts and professors analyzing, but none can compare to your single action. Your financial acumen is unmatched. You are the first god of the Hong Kong stock market. Qin Fei smiled faintly, fully aware that he had already been deified. Many forums were singing his praises. The TVB financial interview featured those who benefited from the rise of the Hang Seng Index, and they were extremely excited in the live interview, praising him endlessly. The first interviewee was an ordinary family of three, whose entire savings from buying a home had been trapped by the Hang Seng. Originally worth 10 million Hong Kong dollars, their assets have fallen to less than 2 million Hong Kong dollars. They almost considered jumping off a building due to their losses. Now, with the Hang Seng Index surging past 10,000 points, their funds had warmed back up to 5 million Hong Kong dollars. Even though they hadn't fully recovered, they were ecstatic to have stopped further losses, regaining 3 million Hong Kong dollars. The rise of the Hang Seng has finally brought back a significant amount of our savings. If it weren't for Mr. Chen's push, we would have lost everything, and the bank would have taken our house. I am very grateful to Mr. Chen. His efforts to raise the Hang Seng are crucial for us ordinary investors. Thank you so much for saving the market, Mr. Chen. In addition, several interviewed ordinary investors expressed their heartfelt gratitude for Mr. Chen's market intervention, which preserved their funds and allowed them to regain some of their principal. As long as they didn't incur further losses, they were content. They sincerely thanked Chen Fei. In such circumstances, no one dared to stand against him. Even those in the Hong Kong financial building openly stated they were willing to invest all their funds to support Chen Fei in raising the Hang Seng. Those who had bet against the Hang Seng were now also coming out to buy at the bottom. After all, nobody in Hong Kong could surpass Chen Fei. Who would dare to go against the top stock god of Hong Kong? They must be tired of living. Central Asia Securities committed 100 billion Hong Kong dollars to chase the Hang Seng, supporting Mr. Chen. Taiwan Fund put in 200 billion Hong Kong dollars, buying at 500 points short-term supporting Mr. Chen. Mr. Bank committed 500 billion Hong Kong dollars to buy at 10,000 points, assisting Mr. Chen in pushing the Hang Seng Index above 11,000 points. Now some securities, funds, and even banks were jumping in to follow Chen Fei's wave of rising stocks, with some aiming to push the index up to 15,000 points. Such bold talk was previously unthinkable. Without Chen Fei, they wouldn't have dared to act. Chen Fei was genuinely pleased as he watched the news roll in. In the second trading session, from the very beginning, the Hang Seng Index began to rise. Today it was not just 11,000, it could even break 12,000. He had promised the four major families, and astonishingly, it was achieved in less than a day. This was beyond his expectations. If such a crazy surge continued, breaking 15,000 was not out of the question. Of course, a rapid breakthrough could be hard to stabilize, so he planned to suppress the rise a bit. Watching some financial funds and securities firms jumping in, he sneered slightly. These guys probably just want to take a slice of the rising profits and then withdraw. It looks like I need to keep the Hang Seng Index at 11,900, not breaking 12,000, to prevent them from taking away ordinary people's money. Those engaged in finance in Hong Kong only wanted to make quick profits and leave. How could Chen Fei allow them to act recklessly? If the Hang Seng broke 12,000 and then fell back, it would be a greater blow to the ordinary people of Hong Kong, and it would also affect his reputation. Therefore, he aimed to stabilize it at 11,900, ensuring it did not break 12,000, allowing the Hang Seng Index to move sideways without falling. As for whether it would continue to rise, that depended on his future maneuvers. Right now, what was needed was to stabilize after a surge. Ensuring that ordinary people in Hong Kong could hold steady was the key. Thus, he took the predicted trend from the second trading session and decisively began stabilizing the index from 11,500 points upwards. This wave of stable growth clearly sparked heated discussions on many Hong Kong forums. Most people knew that this must be him operating behind the scenes, not wanting the Hang Seng to rise too quickly. A group of investors understood that if a stock rises too fast, it could lead to a significant drop. Extremes lead to opposites. Only steady growth was what ordinary investors needed to pursue. One post quickly climbed to the top of the trending list. After the Hang Seng Index reached 11,500 points, the slow increase shows that Mr. Chen is stabilizing the Hang Seng to ensure the interests of most ordinary investors. Mr. Chen's actions are truly slapping many financial institutions in the face. It feels so satisfying. Post 1. Yes, this time with the Hang Seng rising. The biggest fear is someone intentionally dumping at a high position. If that happens, everything could be lost. Post 10. Ordinary investors have limited funds compared to those securities and funds. When they act, it's in the hundreds of billions, even trillions. If they dump at high prices, it could cause the Hang Seng to plummet. Post 100. Mr. Chen's operation this time is incredible. The gradual increase prevents the funds from dumping. After all, the funds entered late, and if they sell now, the profits are too low to justify. Post 200. Mr. Chen is amazing. Mr. Chen is a god. Post 500. Mr. Chen is the true powerhouse of Hong Kong. Look, the Hang Seng Index is stable at 11,900 points, thanks to Mr. Chen. This time, the stability at 11,900 points was aimed at preventing some securities and fund from selling off. Because when they bought in, it was around 10,500 or 11,000. With only a 900-point rise, the profit was too low for those investors to consider selling. So they had to hold. This holding led to the Hang Seng moving sideways, with neither rises nor falls, stabilizing at this level, giving many ordinary investors a chance to breathe. Moreover, as the Hang Seng Index hit the limit and remained stable, many Hong Kong stocks also began to rise slowly. The Hang Seng Index was the major trend for Hong Kong stocks, and the high-level stability of the Hang Seng was pulling them up. This time, Chen Fei didn't gain much from the Hang Seng's rise, only about 150 billion Hong Kong dollars. Combined with the previous 320 billion Hong Kong dollars, he ultimately earned 470 billion Hong Kong dollars. Of course, aside from this cash profit from a surge, there was another matter that concerned him even more: the recovery of TVB's stock price. Due to the rise of the Hang Seng Index and the favorable conditions for Hong Kong stocks, TVB's stock price had risen from its originally low level to break through the high level. After breaking 100 Hong Kong dollars, it was heading towards 110 Hong Kong dollars, significantly increasing TVB's value. It returned to a total value exceeding 100 billion Hong Kong dollars, nearing 200 billion Hong Kong dollars in total value. He owned the most shares in TVB, holding 60 of the shares. With a total value of 200 billion Hong Kong dollars, he could gain 120 billion Hong Kong dollars. This wave of profits made him chuckle. He was looking forward to TVB's stock price breaking 200 Hong Kong dollars, at which point TVB's total value could approach 500 billion Hong Kong dollars. With one TVB, he would have a fixed worth of 300 billion Hong Kong dollars. In a good mood, he thought about the domestic penguin company and decided to contact Mr. Ma to have him arrange for the investment company to go public in Hong Kong. As long as the stock price goes up, the company's value will definitely reach new heights, and as the largest shareholder, he would reap considerable profits. Now, Chen Fei had finished his operations. The market had closed for the day, and the rise in the Hang Seng Index had satisfied many people. The Zheng family from Hong Kong's four major families also called to express their gratitude to Chen Fei for boosting the Hang Seng Index, as it had returned to 19,100 points. The Hong Kong property market was starting to rise. It was really too sensitive. When the Hang Seng started to fall, it plummeted wildly. Now, with the Hang Seng Index initially rising and increasing by thousands of points, it began to appreciate rapidly. This led to significant price increases for several properties under his name in Hong Kong. Take the luxury apartment in Repulse Bay, for example, which he originally bought for less than 1 billion Hong Kong dollars. It has now directly surpassed 1.5 billion Hong Kong dollars, heading towards 2 billion Hong Kong dollars. There are already offers of 2 billion Hong Kong dollars for purchase. With such an increase, it might even reach 3 billion Hong Kong dollars. Chen Fei sighed, realizing that the Hong Kong property market couldn't seem to fall. Fortunately, he had bought a few villas to hold on to, taking advantage of the rising space. He planned to buy an office building in Hong Kong this time. Having made so much money, buying an office building was still feasible. Mr. Zheng, I wonder if you have any luxury properties in Hong Kong for sale. I intend to buy an office building for my Chen Group. He said, well, I have a few companies in the mainland, and we don't have an office location in Hong Kong yet. So buying a building for office use is necessary. Because this time he helped the four major families boost their properties, the Zheng family did not hesitate and sold him one directly. There's a building in a good location on Queens Road that is planned for sale soon. If it's someone else buying, I would definitely sell it for 70 billion Hong Kong dollars. But if it's Mr. Qin, 50 billion Hong Kong dollars is enough. This property has a lot of potential for appreciation. It could even break 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. If the Hang Seng rebounds, it can definitely reach 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. It would still be a considerable profit to buy now. Qin Fei readily agreed, setting a deal for 50 billion Hong Kong dollars to purchase this office building to serve as his Hong Kong headquarters. At that time, some of the mainland companies would also need to relocate there, making the office building very useful. Chapter 75. 50 billion is just a drop in the bucket. Purchasing an office building for 5 billion Hong Kong dollars was merely a drop in the bucket for him. After all, this time he had indeed made quite a profit by driving up the Hang Seng Index. The index stabilized at 19,000 points after 2 openings, allowing him to directly ensure the stability of the Hong Kong stock market. He stabilized the upward trend of the Hong Kong stock market. Ordinary investors made quite a bit of money, as many followed him to buy at low prices after the limit up, allowing them to cash out in the end. There was no need to worry about a downturn in the Hang Seng. It was absolutely favorable for ordinary investors in Hong Kong. This played a role in restoring the economy of Hong Kong, and the recent rebound in the property market further proved this point. Many people who had originally lost millions or tens of millions in the stock market regained some of their money due to the rise of the Hang Seng Index. This resolved their crisis, and Qin Fei was hailed as the first legend of Hong Kong stocks. No one dared to oppose this. Not even the traders in the financial tower, who couldn't help but express their admiration. Many financial institutions had attempted to drive up the Hang Seng, but no one had succeeded in making it rise, let alone reach the limit up and stabilize at 19,000 points. He controlled the situation effortlessly, absolutely dominating the entire Hong Kong financial institutions. Many institutions poured money in but did not benefit. Those who bought at high prices were convinced by Qin Fei's methods. Now, their funds were trapped in the Hang Seng, and they could only follow Qin Fei to drive up the index. They had entered at an index of 11,000. If the Hang Seng did not continue to rise, they would definitely incur losses. Therefore, they hoped that the Hang Seng could break through 12,000 and then 13,000. Otherwise, they wouldn't make much profit at all. This led many to voice their support for Qin Fei, elevating him to new heights, which further aided the recovery of the Hang Seng Index, breaking through the 13,000 index. Central Asia Securities acknowledged Mr. Qin's strength and was willing to continue increasing their position by 200 billion Hong Kong dollars, following Mr. Qin to drive up the Hang Seng. Central Plains Fund stated that as long as Mr. Qin spoke, the fund would invest several hundred billion Hong Kong dollars for him to operate, assisting him in breaking the downward trend of the Hang Seng. Our bank is willing to help Mr. Qin increase his loan limit and provide a higher loan ceiling. If Mr. Qin needs it, our bank will specifically assign a manager to assist him with stock trading collateral. Many messages were released, and some securities and funds were eager to follow him to buy more of the Hang Seng. Not to mention that some banks were even willing to offer higher loans, which only amused Qin Fei. He raised an eyebrow and smirked. When Qin Yao returned, she entered his study. Seeing him, she approached with a bright smile. "Brother, you're amazing." The Hang Seng Index reached 11,000 points, and many people have called to thank us. Wow, we've become famous overnight. Many people in Hong Kong are grateful for our rescue of the Hang Seng. Qin Fei calmly replied, "Yes, I'll let it hit the limit up at 19,000 without a drop. This time, the ordinary investors have made the most profit." Qin Yao smiled and continued, "I see many financial institutions planning to follow you to buy at the bottom, and banks are willing to give you higher leverage. They must want to help ordinary investors in Hong Kong, right?" Qin Fei coldly laughed and said, "No, these people actually want to short the market. Yao Yao, you need to understand that capital does not care about personal feelings. This time, they originally planned to sell off after breaking through 12,000, letting the Hang Seng drop back to 10,000 points, so they could profit even more." Qin Yao was surprised, not expecting these capitalists to be so ruthless. Her expression turned serious. They intentionally pushed it up just for their own profit. "Brother, you deliberately stopped it at 19,000 to prevent them?" Qin Fei nodded slightly and said calmly, "These people are entering with large amounts of capital, buying at 11,000. If it goes above 12,000, they are very likely to sell off for profit. At that time, they would take away trillions of Hong Kong dollars from the Hang Seng Index. And that money was all contributed by ordinary investors. That was why Qin Fei did not allow these people to short the market. He wanted to protect the money of ordinary investors. This was good, since the Hang Seng only slightly rose. Some capital institutions did not gain any benefit and had to continue following him. They praised him, hoping to avoid their losses. So they had no choice but to buy more. If they did not buy more, their institutions could not profit. Understanding the true nature of these capitalists, Qin Yao felt disdain. Her brother was indeed impressive. Otherwise, with the ugly capital in Hong Kong, ordinary people would definitely be taken advantage of. If it weren't for Qin Fei stepping in, how could the Hang Seng Index have such a large increase? Qin Fei checked his account earnings. His assets had surpassed 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars, finally reaching the status of a billionaire. With nearly 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars in total assets. Subtracting the 5 billion Hong Kong dollars spent on purchasing an office building, he still had 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars left. This was comparable to the total assets of many powerful and prestigious families in Hong Kong. He could be considered one of the wealthy in Hong Kong. He was also at the level of a major tycoon in Hong Kong. Looking up, he did not forget to tell Qin Yao, "I bought an office building. Tomorrow, I'll take you and Yang to see it. This is the headquarters of my Qin Group in Hong Kong." Qin Yao's eyes lit up, and her expression was full of anticipation. She did not expect her brother to buy an office building. An office building in such a prime location was definitely worth a lot. She called Yang, planning to go see it together. Near Queen's Road, the commercial office building was situated in an open area, especially since there was a large shopping center nearby. Owning an office building here was undoubtedly a sign of being a well-known enterprise in Hong Kong. If the Qin Group was not a large enterprise, who could be considered one? The Qin Group in Hong Kong now consisted of one entity, the Qin Fei Financial Securities Company. This company was private, raising private funds for financial operations. The entry barrier was high. To date, only the 4 major families of Hong Kong and the gambling king had cooperated with them. Without sufficient strength, no one had the qualification to invest in this financial company. With just this financial company, the Qin Group was undoubtedly one of the most famous enterprises in Hong Kong. Not to mention that the chairman of this company, Qin Fei, was a powerful figure in TVB. Relying on TVB, his reputation was even more prominent. The manager of the office building warmly welcomed them, not to mention that Yang had already learned some news the day after. Her admiration and respect for Qin Fei increased significantly. Accompanying them to check out the office building, this was her cousin's headquarters in Hong Kong. In the future, the entertainment company would also integrate into it, and she might need to come over to handle some matters. This tall office building, in the precious land of Hong Kong, left Yang speechless with astonishment. "Cousin, the location here is really great, and the office building is so new. Wow, is this where the 4 major families in Hong Kong sold to us? I feel that the value here is substantial. Now that the Hong Kong property market is rising, this office building will definitely appreciate a lot in the future." Qin Fei certainly understood that this office building, purchased for 5 billion Hong Kong dollars, could rise to over 100 billion Hong Kong dollars in the future. Acquiring this office building had been a great bargain for him. After all, he had also helped the 4 major families make quite a bit of money this time. After accompanying Qin Yao and Yang around the building, Qin Fei had a general understanding of it as his headquarters. He needed to carefully plan the layout, using the top few floors for his financial office. Although his financial fund company is private, it still needs an office. Hiring a few assistants will also help him handle some miscellaneous tasks. In addition, there's the entertainment company in Hong Kong. Although Hong Kong entertainment is no longer thriving, it still has a decent influence in the mainland. In the future, he might continue to develop big stars in Hong Kong, so an entertainment company is definitely needed. Yang can be considered one of the signed big stars in Hong Kong. This girl only intends to identify herself as a Hong Kong star, so she signed a contract. Ultimately, she will have to move within Hong Kong. Making her the face of the Hong Kong entertainment company will attract quite a few people. Yang Yi readily agreed with a smile, clinging to Qin Fei and grabbing his arm, showing a lot of affection. I will help you develop the Hong Kong Entertainment Company well, cousin. I can help you manage the Hong Kong Entertainment Company